So this song, the way I understand it, is this is all about this state of balance. So it says, oh, Abrete Corazon. What does it mean? Open your heart. Abrete sentimiento. Open up your sensing capacities. So, open up your capacity to feel in ways that maybe reach wider than you generally rely on. Abrete entendimiento. Open up your capacity to understand, yeah? So, sometimes in life, we see something and we cannot understand it. We see, for example, we might look out at the world and we might see human beings doing things that we just cannot understand. The idea is, if we really open our heart and we really work with all of our capacities, we will access a little bit more capacity to understand things that previously didn't make sense, to be a little bit more compassionate, a little bit more inclusive. And then there's this very beautiful line where it says, Deja a un lado la razón. So what does it mean literally?
To put aside reason.
So to put reason to one side. Now, when I first encountered this song, I was staying with my friend Thomas in Ibiza, and he played it for me on YouTube. He said, "You're going to love this song, James." And the video, at this point, had a beautiful animation. And it showed a scale, you know, like a balance. And it had la razón on one side, and it had intuition on the other side. And in the middle was the heart. So when it says deja a un lado la razón, the way I understand, doesn't mean throw reason out the window. Doesn't mean leave it away. It means bring reason and intuition, let them be in balance. Reason on its side, intuition on its side, and let the heart unify them. Connect to them both, acknowledge them both, work with them both. And when we open our heart, I think we can do this. The heart has this capacity to connect. So our reasoning capacities are wonderful tools, but so are our intuitive capacities. The one without the other, we're more likely to slip up. Yeah? But they don't have to be at loggerheads. They can help each other see each other's blind spots. Yeah? So that's the way I understand it. And this is a very yogic or tantric idea. It's the idea, when we do this, yeah? When you sing Om and you join the hands, we mentioned Om means everything and to bring everything into togetherness. So when you join the hands, the nerve endings in the right fingertips connect into the left side of the brain and vice versa. So it's like we are reinforcing the connection between the rational and the intuitive sides, between the heart and the tar. And so the idea in tantric yoga systems is we have to acknowledge everything. We cannot leave anything out. If you want yoga, unity, we can't leave anything out. So the reasoning has to be included. The intuition, the sensing, the feeling has to be included. The logic has to be included. All of the capacities have to be included. And this is the path of the heart. And if we can do that, y deja brillar el sol. If we can do that, then we can let shine this sun which is hidden in our heart. Now, the sun. Without the sun, no life on earth, yeah? Without the sun of consciousness, no experience, no life. So let the sun of your conscience shine free. So the way I understand it is, if we can find the heart, the courage, to invite all our feeling capacities. Is it easy to invite all of our feeling capacities into the present moment? Sometimes it's painful to do that, yes? Which is why in yoga we have to be a warrior. We have to have heart and courage, because to invite everything in sometimes will be challenging. Sometimes it will be painful. Sometimes it will mean acknowledging that I have been my own enemy. I've been getting in my own way. Is it easy to digest this fact? It takes courage, yeah? It takes compassion, it takes spaciousness. So heartfully, I expand my capacities, I connect to all of them, and this is what lets shine forth this light of conscience. Es tiempo ya es hora. It's already time. You are qualified. You're born. We acknowledge we're not in a state of yoga, and we're making an honest effort. So no point waiting. Let me invite more integration here and now. Now is the time. Because we have this capacity for yoga inside us. We wouldn't be able to hold ourselves together day to day if we didn't. So all we need to do is just work with the gifts we already have. Yoga doesn't ask us to be anything we are not. As we mentioned earlier, it's just a recovery project. It's a remembering, bringing all the members of ourselves back into togetherness. Open your heart and remember how spirit and love will heal. So the way I understand spirit here is, spirit is the breath of life. When we cooperate with life, when we allow expiration, when we don't cling to things, when we let life move through us, not trying to control it or dominate it, when we let it move, we let it go, we don't try to keep things fixed, we let things die, and we welcome the new inspiration. This is very healing. This is how we can heal our inheritance. Not by denying it, but allowing the breath of life to move through where we are now. So sometimes happens in life when we practice. It's interesting that I've grabbed my organs here. We realize that we are carrying things that aren't just from our own life experience. Our parents and grandparents somehow are here in us. But in order for us to heal the lineage, we do not need to go back. The idea is that here now, as life is unfolding, we will have the opportunities to weave greater harmony into the fabric of life. And we have many gifts from our ancestors. So if we have the courage to accept them and build upon them, we can dissolve, let's say, those things that need to be healed. Does that make sense? Al amor, and how spirit can heal and how love can heal. And the word amor, I mentioned this on Sunday, one of the connotations of the Latin amor is that which includes. So how this inclusive attitude heals. To heal means to make whole. So coming back to this central idea that we've touched on many times, if we want peacefulness, we cannot leave anything out. If we want yoga as unity, it's an all-inclusive practice. We have to work with everything. We can't deny anything, we can't reject anything, we've got to work with all of it and just do our best to harmonize it as best as we can. So how that inclusive attitude, so remember, you have this capacity to include, and it is healing. Remember, como el árbol florece y la vida perdura. Remember how the flower blooms and life continues. How does the tree grow? How does the tree come into flower? What does the tree show us? The great guru of the deciduous tree. It's happening in Mysore now. What are the trees doing? Is this absolutely? The leaves are falling. So I'm very looking forward to what I'm going to do when I leave on Friday, but if I was staying another next 5 weeks in Mysore, I'd be very happy because an absolutely magical period of the year is now happening. The trees are shedding their leaves, and then in a few days' time, this absolute miracle will happen. They're going to come back lush green in like 2 weeks, yeah? And then all the flowers will come. And about 1 month from now, you can walk along the street at the bottom here, and the beautiful yellow acacia flowers shower down on you. Very romantic. If anybody wants a romantic walk in Mysore, 5 o'clock on that avenue in the month of March. Come with the person you want to. But I'm from the Northern Europe. We have very distinct seasons. In the autumn, what do the trees do? They put on an amazing fire show. They turn all these beautiful reds and oranges and yellows and browns, and they do this like it's the last show of the season. And so they do the last finale, and then what do? They don't hold on. Previously there's been the beautiful expansion of the early spring and summer, and then the kind of fullness and abundance of the summer, and then this like beautiful beguiling change of the autumn. But then at the end of the autumn, the trees don't hold on to all that glorious show. Now it's time to rest. They let the leaves fall. And where do they give the leaves? Back to the same earth and the same root system that allowed that whole season of spring, summer and autumn and all that different expansion and beauty and variety. And then in the winter what happens? All those leaves rot. They get drawn back into the earth. So all the gifts of the previous season get recycled, and they go back to nourish the next iteration, the next incarnation, the next season. And the idea, remember that life is cyclical. Remember that death allows life. There's no life without death. Don't try to cling to things. We humans, we love to hold on. So the song's reminding us, life is a heartbeat. It's an expansion and a contraction. So don't be afraid of the contraction. The drawing back in, the quiet of the winter, the slowing down, the death-like moments when the trees have no leaves, when we feel like, oh, I don't know what's happening now. Like I was just racing along, everything was going smoothly, and now it seemed like the system is actually, could be assimilating. So remember the Guru of nature. This is the way that life continues. It's not all up, up, up. This is one of the great fallacies of the predominant economic model. But life is like this. No, it's a cycle. It might look like this from one angle, but within that, when you zoom in, it's more like this. Yeah? And when you are growing, if we turn it the other way, if it's like a river, yeah? Sometimes things are flowing very freely, yeah? If you go to a river, like if you go to the river where you've been living last year, Sylvia's been living, you've been there as well, Ben, yeah? In the mountains, there's this beautiful river. And there's quite a few waterfalls. And I remember one year I was there, and I was just admiring this gorgeous waterfall in the sunlight. And the river's flowing so fast. It's like it's accelerating, it's moving freely on its journey towards wholeness, towards the ocean. But after the waterfall, it's the slowest moving part of the river. Because the water's deepest, because the heavy cascade has hollowed out the rock, so it's the deepest place. So after the fastest, you get the slowest. But that's allowing all of that new growth to be assimilated and then continue. So yoga works because it works with reality. It doesn't try to force things. Let me acknowledge all parts of myself. Only when I acknowledge all parts of myself will I be able to invite greater unity, but I have a capacity to do this. Remember Abrete memoria antigua, open up that ancient knowing, that ancient memory. It's in the earth, it's in the plants, it's in the water, it's in the fire, it's in our DNA. We know how to live. All of life is evolving. All of life is true to its nature. The challenge of the human being is to actually live like that. Because we have this conscience and consciousness, we can choose to not live completely in tune with our nature. And the invitation of yoga is to do our best to actually come into rhythm, come into harmony, and do the dance of Shivanatha Raja and stay in balance through all of the whirling wonder and change of life.